Powerful Hurricane Franklin sparks warnings in Bermuda. Well, Hurricane Franklin has exploded to reach an enormous intensity right now, a Category 4, currently at 27.9 degrees north, 71 degrees west. Thankfully, it will be mostly out to sea, although it has now concerned Bermuda enough to cause tropical storm watches to be issued, with warnings possibly on the way. At 1 p.m. local time, Atlantic daylight, it had winds of 145 miles per hour and a pressure of 937 millibars, moving nearly due north at 9 miles per hour, and is a Category 4 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, with further strengthening expected. So here's its position displayed on the map right now. It is still quite distant from Bermuda. It's actually just at the very northern tip of that map there. But the wind field is sizable, 130 nautical miles in the northeastern quadrant, and will be expanding. It is 767 kilometers from Bermuda, 919 from Cape Hatteras, 1486 from Nantucket, 1973 from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and 2693 from St. John's in Newfoundland. National Hurricane Center expects that this storm will peak with winds of 155 miles per hour, which is borderline Category 5, moving northwards and at quite a high latitude to reach such an intensity, but it's already most of the way there. Primary hazard then is rip currents, not just for Bermuda but for large parts of the US East Coast. There are some rip current warnings out already, particularly along the beaches of Georgia right now. Rip currents can sweep even the best swimmers away from shore into deeper water, where if in doubt, don't go out. Of course, they can be very dangerous and have caused fatalities in the past from hurricanes that are much further away from Franklin. Think Lorenzo in 2019. Well, moving ahead then, in the next few days, we expect that the wind field will expand quite a lot, just getting by Bermuda, very close to seeing tropical storm force winds there, and then nudging by the coast of Newfoundland, and then off to Greenland by the time we get to the weekend. Into Sunday, it'll be just moving along the coast there as an extratropical cyclone. Of course, it will turn post-tropical long before then. And there's the depiction on the National Hurricane Center's forecast cone with that extratropical transition by Saturday morning. But right now we have our estimated wind speeds at 145 miles per hour. Satellite estimates are actually a little bit lower than that, only around 130 to 135. But Recon have adjudged this storm to have these higher wind speeds and that estimated central pressure, which is a good estimate, of 937 millibars. Here's the model output showing quite a few different tracks there. The GFS on the northern end of the envelope, National Hurricane Center a little bit further south, and HWRF probably giving Bermuda the most difficult pass. Actually, the ECMWF is further south there as well. Low wind shear for the next 24 to 48 hours at least, and very warm SSTs mean that Franklin could have a chance of reaching Category 5 status. Moving northeastwards, it doesn't have very long after the 24-hour period before it turns post-tropical later in the week, and then up through to southern Greenland, where it could strike with hurricane force winds, but a non-tropical cyclone by that point. But for the very small populations on the coast there, could cause some significant wind impacts and heavy rain as well. There it is, moving up there with those hurricane force winds, tropical storm force winds later on, and it will eventually die off to the southeast of Iceland. Here's the radar reflectivity simulated. It's not going to be a massive rainfall producer in Bermuda. It will tag team with a frontal system through Newfoundland, which could cause a lot of rainfall there, and then become its own extratropical cyclone and absorbing that front before it reaches Greenland. Watch again as it moves on through. You'll also see Idalia's footprint in the background as well on the left hand side. We did an update on that one earlier. And there's Franklin moving off, turning post-tropical as it passes Newfoundland, and then off it goes with that line stretching from its remnants from Iceland eventually southwards. These are the rainfall totals that we're expecting from Franklin in the next 7 days. In Bermuda, we're not expecting very much. I think we're expecting only about 1 inch maximum. That's 25 millimeters. We're expecting higher amounts in Newfoundland, probably getting towards 4 or 5 inches there. That's around 125 millimeters. And thankfully, out at sea is where the highest rainfall amounts are, 11 inches there for sea interests only. And if you can spot Bermuda, it's hard to spot on these maps all the time, but we eventually got there. 0.9 inches is expected from the GFS model, but look what it does in Greenland. That might produce the highest storm totals, getting up towards 10 inches. Remarkable. So, sea surface temperatures then, looking ahead of the storm and around it, are very warm indeed. 28, probably pushing 29 degrees Celsius, and warm sea surface temperatures all the way up towards Newfoundland. Not right up to the coast, of course, those temperatures there around 20 degrees, but just off the coast, about half a day away, those temperatures will still be enough for tropical cyclone sustenance. Getting much colder towards the north there, but decent temperatures even off the coast of Greenland at this time of year. So here's the satellite imagery, which I'm sure is what most people have been waiting for and is obviously the focal point of this storm right now. Very photogenic. Force 13 Extra will be doing a simulated recon flight into the storm just after this update goes out, so if you like that sort of thing, you can take a look. And you can also find imagery of this storm on the Force 13 website and on our automated feed right now, force13.com/satellite, or you can take a look at our automated stream on YouTube. But the bottom line from this is that Franklin is a significant rip current threat for the US East Coast and for Bermuda, and there is a tropical storm watch in effect where there could be some substantial impact possibly on the island, but it should pass by safely to the north, we're hoping, but it is going to be one that might get us a little bit close for comfort.